A slightly different start than normal, but I thought I'd update you. I said I was going to look for cam. Got it. It's just a stock LS6 cam. Nothing special. It's got a little bit of wear and tear on it, or a little bit of wear marks. I'm sorry, not wear and tear. Great condition. I think it'll work just fine. Yes, we would really love, well, the cam that was probably in here, TSP cam. But at the end of the day, that's over four times the price I paid for this. Plus, while I was there, I bought coils. These are from LS6 or LS3. It doesn't matter. We can adapt them over. It's just the wiring harness plug that may be slightly different, is what I was kind of warned. Don't matter. I can make it work. But originally, we were just going to swap over to MSD. But for the price we got these, it's going to get us started, and that's the thing. We want to at least, when we get to the motor, have all the parts and at least get it started. So I also bought a front sump oil pan. Probably going to have to shorten it and then widen it out a little bit, but the point was, it's better than having to modify to cut the rear sump off and move it to the front. Totally doable, but this is going to be so much easier, and it was $50, so it's worth the try. These were $40, the cam was $100. So for $190, we got a bunch of car parts. Also, while I was in town, I wanted to try this. I like U-Pole. U-Pole is a British company, I do believe. It's over in the UK. They make a lot of really good stuff. I do believe they're the ones that make the EGC brand stuff, which I have a ton of that over there. And I think they make Proform also. I don't remember. But they make a lot of cool stuff, a lot of good body working stuff, a lot of good paint stuff. So I went ahead and bought it. It's the same price as the Bondo Glass. It's a short strand body filler. So I want to give it a try. It's interesting. The hardener comes in a little packet. And this actually comes in a packet too. Like if you only need, this much of it, there's an actual little packet that sits there on the shelf and you can just buy it. It's a few bucks. It's actually kind of cool. But went ahead and bought this too because I'd like to give this a try. He said it works great and it sands great. And that's kind of where I'm trying to, I like playing with new stuff. And it's going to make good reviews. I can compare the two brands and talk about what I like about both brands. There's nothing wrong with the Bondo Glass. I love that stuff. I've got some of it on this quarter down here that was when I originally, like 4 months ago, I was showing Marina some stuff and I just had her slather it on there, knowing that later I'd probably take it off. But for shits and giggles, I bodyworked that section. I took a hammer and a dolly and slowly, slightly worked it. None of it chipped, none of it cracked, none of it separated. I mean, no, it's not thick, but none of the bodywork on this car is really that thick. It's all half the recommended manufacturer's spec, or less than half. So it's just, I like using this. Again, I keep saying it, but I like using it because it's a peace of mind thing. It does work better than lightweight. Lightweight's a skim coat to me. Anything above a skim coat, I'll want to use this. Or the Bondo Glass. So we're going to get to it. We got to clear all the paint off the panel, all the crap off the panel, and we'll probably vinegarize it just to make sure, and then move on to doing this. That's our objective, is to get this. I don't know how much we'll get done today. I do have to go to bed at a decent hour. I have a all-day pool thing tomorrow, so. Rust prevention, more rust prevention, or rust eating, just like we did on the floorboards, but you'll see in the footage coming up over this, it's not bad. Totally not bad at all. There's some areas, I'll give it that, there's some areas, a couple spots, but it's really not bad. It's drying right now, so probably in about 45 minutes to an hour. It'll be nice and dry, and it'll be ready to start sanding on it. I will not be Scotch-Briting it like I did the interior. I 40 grit all of this. The reason I 40 grit is it gives that short strand something deeper and more coarse to really bite into. That is why I cannot talk. I can body work this stuff and it doesn't hurt it. It doesn't fall off. Now, no, I'm not beating the living crap out of it, but I am moving the metal, and it's moving with the metal without cracking. I don't know how well it's moving. You could see when I was doing the wire wheel, I went ahead and grazed the edge where I did the body work right here, or where I did the hammer and dolly work right here and right here, all the way down to the surface. None of it chipped off. It literally came right off. I guess, what do you call it? The wire wheel, as it spins, it takes like, each wire takes like a piece, and it did that. So it's all nice and smooth, still connected to the body. I have no complaints. Again, I'll let this stuff do its thing and I'll get back with you. First experience with the U-pull short strand, and I gotta say, it mixes way easier and lays down way nicer. I am getting a little carried away with the short strand, and that's perfectly fine. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know, it's a peace of mind thing, I guess, because the big areas, they flop a lot, or the metal moves a lot, and because of that, that's why, like, that section up there probably failed. It was way too thick for it was just plain Bondo. It was way too thick for it, but now, lightweight would do it just fine. But I know that's a big chunk of metal that's still a little tin canny, and I tried over and over and over and over to get it out, and it just would not come out. So this stuff will make sure that there's no problem. I mean, I've body worked this section back here again, and none of it chipped, none of it separated, none of it nothing. And with this stage of the process, it's VA. So I got this. This is a new one, just to try to tear through stuff a little bit better than that old one does. It vibrates way too much though compared to that old one, because you're holding it on top of the motor instead of the handle. But it's working good. Now I'll just knock this down and it should be ready for lightweight filler. You're probably going, why did you put so much filler right there? It's simple. Instead of going around and putting a thin layer, knocking it, thin layer, knocking it, thin layer, knocking it, until all that wonkiness that's in that panel goes out, I just slap a crap ton on there. Now yes, that actually changes the shape of the fender. Just like to over exaggerate it, it would do this, it'd bulge it. Then you take the block as you're block sanding and you block sand all that flat. In one pass I can have it flat. Now as for all this area, I'm doing that thin coat at a time. The reason is because of the way the curve is. I don't want to put a crap ton on there and then have to try to pay attention to the angle of the curve and make sure that the filler's not too thick and a bunch of other stuff just to make sure, because if this turns out too thick and it doesn't straighten up right, I am going to have to go from about here to here, wipe it all out with like a wire wheel, grind it all out, end up cutting a piece up in here just to get up underneath the fender to beat it out even further. But I think it's there. I think this leading edge is good. I know that. It's nice and straight. Down through the middle was good. So I think it's just a low spot here and a low spot there that I'm dealing with. I don't know yet. It appears as that is what it is at this point. Hopefully it is. If not, I'll just have to cut all these welds that I just did. Next episode, I'm not going to discuss next episode. It's completely pointless. We do not need to do on the next couples therapy BS. You'll see what it is. We do 2 episodes a week, every week, on the clockwork. Now sometimes it might be something else, because like we're going to do a special episode when we get all the shirt design 100% nailed down, and we're going to print a test one. Kind of cut, heat, transfer one of them and show you all what it looks like, show you what to expect. We'll also discuss coloring too at some point, because the brand that I'm going to most likely be using, I'm switching brands than what I used forever ago. Yeah, I got a sample book coming in. It's got like 140 samples in it, so it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to pick out colors, take it to the store, make sure it matches the shirts, because we'll just probably buy the all cotton t-shirts at Walmart, because that's what we have here. Maybe go to Target, maybe they'll have nicer ones. But if it's 100% cotton, if it's real good thread count, it'll be nice. I'm not going to scrimp on the t-shirt, so I'm going to make sure to get really good ones. That's the whole point behind doing all this, is to do it my way, which is sometimes better than the shop way. I can just stop talking. I'm blabbing. I've recorded this like 4 times. I'm getting nowhere, so I hope y'all at least enjoy the little bit more educational talking. Even though with it sleep deprived, you probably have no idea what I'm saying. Remember, just because you don't doesn't mean you can't.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school.